What's up, guys? It's your boy, Penny Skinnis, still out of Adderall. I don't know what the hell's going on. I can't think properly. The news has been kind of slow recently. There's nothing really interesting going on. France is literally on fire. Joe Bingus is still eating chocolate chip ice cream. Not much going on. Unless you're one of the millions of degenerates like myself who find themselves scrolling Twitter on the daily. Recently, it's been announced by Elon Musk, the owner of the platform as of last year, that rate limits have been set on all accounts that will completely limit your ability to see tweets after you hit said limit. Twitter is dying. That's the headline you're reading. That's the sympathy you're receiving. Everyone is convinced that Twitter is going down the drain. Why is it they think that? Why are we coming to this conclusion? Well, Elon Musk, who bought Twitter a year ago to try and rebuild the platform as a free speech haven and actually turn a profit, announced the other day there are now rate limits on all users on the platform. To address extreme levels of data scraping and system manipulation, we've applied the following temporary limits. Verified accounts are limited to reading 6,000 posts a day, unverified accounts to 600 posts a day, new unverified accounts to 300 posts a day. He then announced the rate limit being increased to 8,800 and 400, and later 10K, 1K, and 0.5K. Anna, what do you want? Since this announcement, many people have been reporting issues with the website. Now, why exactly are these limits being put in place? In the announcement tweet, Musk says it's because of data scraping and manipulation. You might be wondering what that means, and don't worry, I got you, alright? I am somewhat of a programmer myself. I definitely know what all of these words mean. Like most of the problems on the internet right now, the culprit is AI. If you haven't heard about the issues AI has been causing, your name is probably Patrick, and I'm not going to give you the whole lowdown. The way that AI chatbots like ChatGPT, Bard, and Bing AI work is by combing through millions and millions of pages of data from the internet and learning how to respond to certain situations using said data. It's basically a search engine that does all the searching before you ask the question and then responds with what it knows. ChatGPT is really the AI that kind of set everything into motion here. When it first dropped, people were just absolutely astonished by its capabilities. OpenAI was like the big thing, and then from there it just branched out. Other companies started looking into AI as a solution to problems or as ways to make money. So if you were to ask ChatGPT a question like, what news happened in the last week, it wouldn't be able to answer that question because its data cutoff is September of 2021. Fun fact, did y'all know that? Newer chat AIs like Bard and Bing AI do not have these data cutoffs and are fed live data from Google and Bing. Not to mention image generation AI and other AI that's being used by companies to scrape data. The number of data requests they can make in a minute is in the millions. And when you pay for servers by data and request usage, those calls quickly add up. Now you've probably already seen that some websites are actually making changes kind of similar to this. Reddit got a lot of kickback when they announced they were going to start charging $12,000 a month for 50 million API calls. Earlier, Twitter actually did this same kind of limitation, where they went from having a free and open API to charging a free plan with only 1,500 API calls a month, $100 for 50,000, and 5K for 1 million calls, which is a lot more expensive than Reddit's, fun fact. I'm no math doctor, but damn. Now, I've goofed about with the Twitter API on my own before. The most I've made with it is this app that lets you take perfect screenshots of tweets, because one day I was bored and probably out of Adderall, like today. But we're also starting to see these money squeeze issues on other websites, like YouTube, who have recently lowered their standards to get into the partner program to 500 subscribers and 3,000 watch hours from the 1,000, 4,000 it's had for the last couple of years. Which, not gonna lie, what the f? Why didn't you do this a year ago? I would have already been in the partner program, you sons of bitches. I'm just a little butthurt about that. I hit I think it was 3,800 watch hours. YouTube is also experimenting with preventing the use of ad blockers. And while this is peeving off a lot of people, I have some bad news for you. Tough tits, because guess what? Ad blockers have probably done more to affect, and by affect I mean harm, YouTube's ad revenue than PewDiePie saying the N-word ever did.
What a fucking
When you're watching television, you can't just make the ads disappear. It doesn't work that way. When you go to a sports event, you can't just tear down all of the fucking ad placements that are along the walls. You can't cut the announcer off during his ad read. The idea that you can just remove YouTube's main source of income because it inconveniences you for about 15 seconds, in my opinion, is retarded. Yo, editor, put that in big text on the screen. No, I'm not gonna lie. This change to Twitter sucks massive penis. I know it says in the tweet that it's temporary, but what I don't hear being temporary is that you now have to log into Twitter if you would like to access any kind of tweets. Me, as a programming boy, I do not enjoy this because I have scripts I use where I press one button and I download whatever video I want off the interwebs. That's how I'm able to insert memes like this randomly into videos. I can't wait to just put some random shit from the shitpost folder in there. I can't do that on Twitter right now, and it's really awful because I've seen a lot of good-ass memes. That's like half the reason I go to Twitter. The other half is call people retarded. I dare you to search my name and retard and cross-reference how many times I tweet versus how many times I say retard in a tweet. But that means 50% of why I use Twitter is just absolutely nay-nayed upon right now. There's nothing I can do about it. Actually, there is something I can do about it, but pretty sure because I'm a programmer, that makes me more lazy. And I'm too lazy to fix my program so it can scrape videos again. But good job, Elon Musk. You've stopped me from stealing dank memes. In terms of how effective this will be at stopping botting, the answer is, in my opinion, this is going to be very effective at stopping botting. The problem is, you didn't need to go this far. This is like being angry that your kid keeps stealing cookies, so you cut his hands off. There are many steps you can take between your kid taking cookies when they're not supposed to and you cutting their hands off. They've basically just neutered the entirety of Twitter's platform because the average person does not have Twitter Blue, and they can scroll 600 calls very easily. In fact, some people are speedrunning it, and I think the record is somewhere in 2 minutes, but most of that time is actually spent creating a new Twitter account. There are many ways to stop bots from scraping your website, and a lot of them you will actually see quite often. Google actually even has one enabled automatically if you're using a VPN, where if you try to search something every like 10 minutes or something, you're gonna get this recaptcha that asks you what the fuck a bike looks like. TikTok also does this. I'd say TikTok browser form probably one of the worst websites I have ever had to use. It is completely dog shit. Its infinite scroll in the DMs does not work, and if you hit the top, it's supposed to generate like another 10, maybe 15 messages. Instead, what it does is it'll get stuck up there and it'll make 10 million API calls in an instant, and then you will be kicked off the website. To prevent bots, they have a very simple recaptcha-like system where you have to move a puzzle piece horizontally into the right spot. I don't know how an AI couldn't figure that out, but you do you, bud. They also try to prevent you from scraping videos, but guess what? That doesn't stop me. I have the script right here. You see this folder full of TikToks? Yeah, f you, TikTok. Even if you were going to put in a hard rate limit, it doesn't even have to be something as low as 6,000 per day. That's 250 calls per hour, which can easily be met by just scrolling your feed and clicking, which loads a bunch of comments, which counts as API calls. If you're trying to stop scraping and API calls that are in the millions per minute, you can easily set a limit of maybe 10,000 per minute. No one would ever hit that, but it's still basically a brick wall to any kind of scraping bots. You also already made everyone have to log in to be able to access the data on the website anyways, killing programs like the one I built. So why the fuck do you have to put a rate limit in the first place? If someone's doing like a browser-based logged in data scrape, that's going to take forever anyways, and the number of calls you can make is going to be nowhere near a million per minute because you have to actually wait for the GUI to load if you're using something like Selenium or some kind of remote browser to actually make the calls and pretend you're an actual user. But even if you wanted to stop that, easy, just add a captcha every like 15 minutes worth of calls on browser. Or maybe just do that if you're not logged in. Problem solved. The change is pretty bad, and I'm glad it's temporary, but all I can say is damn, what is the worst way to kill your social media website? By making it so people cannot even use the website. A lot of jokes were going around, people were saying that you should go touch grass, and I tried it. I went outside, I tried to touch the grass, oh, and there we go, I'm just back on the website. Who would have thunk? Honestly, the platform still mid as because that's how I like my Twitter. When I go on Twitter, I plan to argue this shit out of dumb stuff. Like here, when I went on an argument about this equation that's written incorrectly to begin with to cause people to argue. Just because arguing stimulates my brain and makes me happy. Does it count as masochism? I don't know. You tell me. These temporary changes to Twitter have been quite the shakeup and have led to great memes. It's also led to people posting specifically to make fun of the fact they're wasting someone's rate limit. I'm not Elon Musk. I don't know what's going on behind the scenes. All I know is that he's fired 90% of the staff. Everyone lost their shit on Twitter because, I don't know, maybe they think that to run a server you actually need people running on hamster wheels, but the site seems to be running alright. The only main issue is that instead of having a developer branch and a published branch like most companies do, he's doing all the QA testing on the main branch, boys. Any change he makes, we're gonna see it immediately. Errors and all. It's fabulous. I love opening the app and not knowing what the f*** is gonna be broken next. A presidential candidate tried to launch their campaign on this this app, and it failed miserably. Anyways, that's all I got for you. Tell me what you think, and remember, when you're staining wood, make sure to go with the grain, and have a good day.